I'm small again. Hello, I'm big again. I wish StreamYard didn't mess around with their buttons. They've changed it. You come up small first, which is weird. Anyway, hello. Thank you for coming. Welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. And we have in the chat, we have Shirley from Glitter World, and we have Alyssa from Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life. And a big hello to both of you. So thank you for being here. Good to see you, says Glitter World. And you'll like today's chat, Shirley. I know it's something you're definitely interested in. And we're talking about fitness, but in a very light way. So those of you not interested in fitness, listen carefully, because I'm going to be coming up with some very different things. So you hopefully saw my thumbnail. Can I keep this up? The answer is no. It's all very well saying to be motivated and whatever else, but if you have a condition like mine, there are days like some of you when you get attacks or like problems happen on a regular basis and you can't do anything. If you see me wobbling, it's because Mr. Colin Waffles is here. Here he is. Here he is. And to one of my viewers, your cat looks pregnant. Mr. Colin Waffles is not pregnant. He's just fat. Yes, consistency is key. But as I say, if you've got a condition like mine where you can be fine and dandy as much as possible one day and you can be in a coma the next day, consistency for me cannot happen. So I can make all the plans in the world and be as motivated as I like, but some days I can't even walk. Other days I can be out gardening and going for hikes. So yes, I do think that is correct. Oh, we have Old Car Junkie here. Hello, Dawn, and all in chat. How are you, my friend? A big hello to Teddy. Mr. Colin Waffles has come back, and I've just been editing a funny video of all my cats. A really funny video that will be coming soon. So what we're going to talk about is ways to exercise where you don't feel you're exercising. The most reason people don't exercise is because people find it boring. And I have a plan for you if you are one of those people who think exercise is boring, doesn't matter how motivated you are. But of course, if you are motivated and you want to do like a workout or keep fit, something like that, or go on your exercise bike, the best time to do it is as soon as possible when you get up, because it's done. It's done. If you put it off, other things will step forward and come in. So if you're going on a bike ride or a walk, get up and do it. It's done. And you will feel so much more pleased with yourself that you've done it. We have Stephen Tina Jewel in. How are you, my friends? Nice to see you. I must go back and actually comment on your video. I saw the one where you're showing around the garden, Steve. And I was on my phone, and I'm not always very good at commenting and doing anything when I'm on my phone. And I was laying in bed and I thought, I'll watch that. But I do need to go back and let you know I've watched that one. Steve shows you around the garden. The first half of the video, he said, but I don't know what that is. And I'm not sure what that is because Tina does it. But then we got to the bit of garden that Steve does know. Okay. So what we're going to do, first of all, I think I'm going to show you how I plan for people who don't like to exercise. Some people like a routine and to do the same thing again and again. I recommend, if you don't like exercising, make a similar thing up to what I've done. If you're like me and you can't commit for some reason, whether it be work commitment, sometimes you're working a lot, other times you're not working, so you can't do certain times of the day every week and get a commitment like that, this will work for you. And also if you don't want to do the same monotonous thing. So I've made a chart. I don't know if you'll be able to see it really because it's in pencil. I'll go through it all. And it's just a page of circles. Now you can do as many circles as you like on it. The more, the better. And write in each circle something that would make you fit or healthy. It doesn't have to be types of exercise. And then this is if you can't really commit to a set time of day, or you could use it for that. Then what you do, make it so you've got lots of different things, and that way it will be a balanced out form of exercise. You can pick any one whenever you want to do exercise. When you've done it, the reason I've got circles is I then stick a circle bit of paper on top of it. Next time I come to exercise, I can pick any other circle. So if you're a real health kick and have some harder things in here or some proper workout stuff, cover those over. Then you've got the fun stuff left. So every time you visit, and then in the end, you will do the whole page. When you've done the whole page, take them off and start again, or do a new sheet. So I'll give you ideas of what I've done. Some are easy, some are not. We have got stretch. So you just basically do some stretching. And again, depends on you, how long you want to do it. There's no times on these, but maybe you want to add how long you've got to do something for, or maybe not. So stretch. If you're on a health kick, perhaps you'll do that several times a day. Then I've got anything for balance or flexibility. And I'll go through what you can do with some of these later on. So I'm flexible because I've done some stretching stuff, and balance. Now, if you're as old as me or older, your balance does start to go. Try and stand on one foot if you're mobile. Can you actually rise on 2 feet or even 1 foot? These are things we lose. My friend was telling me about skipping with the skipping rope. She finds it hard to even jump now over a rope. So these are things you could do. An exercise band, I'll show you those in a minute, and a dance ribbon. I'll talk about those in a minute. Then the next circle, I've got arm exercises. And if you're female, you're going to start getting your hang of flesh, let's call it, under your arms. So work on your arms. Another one I've got is waist and stomach. So these are exercise things, legs, and then aerobics or something for stamina. Now, stamina could just be a long walk, going for a long walk. Then I've got mat work, so things laying down. Now, if you can't get down on the floor, you can lay on your bed and do mat work. So you can lay on your bed. That's easier to get up and down. I can't get up and down anymore. Standing exercises. Bar work. Now, this is not having a drink. This is standing at a bar, or you can use the back of your sofa if it's a strong sofa, or a high table, and you put your leg up. You could do some leans and things on there. Step up. That could just be going up and down stairs for a while. So, or if you've got a little platform, you can do step work. Then I've got hoop. I've got videos on all these things. Let me put my dance channel up for you. All these things I'm talking about, I've got videos on how to do them. So I do have videos. Let's put my channel up where you can find these things. And I've got playlist. So there's playlists for all these different things. So there's exercise ones, there's yoga ones. There's all different playlists. I'm just going through my Word doc to try and find my channel link for you. Where are we? Channel link. I'm still on music. Nearly there. There we go. Let me see. Too many channels. Here we go. So all these things I'm talking about, there are videos of how to do them. Let's just put that in the chat. I will come and read your chat in a minute. So hoop, things you exercise with a hoop, or just have fun hula hooping. Can you still do that? Then I've got one that's a mix. So that's basically you can choose whatever you want to do. Another one's online exercises. So find a channel, maybe it's my channel, and you can copy some exercises from there, random. Bike. Now this could be an exercise bike or going out for a cycle. Walk. Climbing. Swim. Another mix one. Jobs. Now this is just about going around your house doing jobs. Do some DIY or cleaning, dusting, get the stuff off your shelves, and we're going to talk about how naturally you exercise in a minute. Gardening, of course, gardening. Freestyle dance. So just basically I've got a video coming out of 70s dance moves for you to exercise with, so having fun, and that's quite a fun video that's going to be. Belly dance, I've got a whole playlist on that, so that's fun for exercise. And then I've got standard ballet, tap, ballroom and Latin, disco, street dance. So that's how you can make up your kind of chart with that. Okay, let's come back and read the chat before I go on. Steve's doing links. He's done a link for Old Car Junkie. Go and check everyone's channels out, guys. Steve, don't forget to do your own link. He's done one for Shirley's channel, Squirrel's World. Old Car Junkie says thank you to Steve. Steve's done a link for Dreamland. Dreamland says exercise. Yes, I'll talk about how you don't physically have to do exercise to exercise. That's what we're talking about today. Old Car Junkie says Dawn was my first subscriber. Okay, Stitch Up says Dawn is a lady of all trades, always sharing great knowledge. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's sweet, Alyssa. Please hit the thumbs up. Yes, please do that. I can't see it on StreamYard. When you're on StreamYard, you haven't got the thumbs up because it's basically a recording platform. It's not like YouTube. There's my link to my dance channel. But as I say, it's not just dance on that channel. Apart from exercise, there's also stage performances. There's, if you want to be an actor, it's how to act, and I give you advice on auditions and tips, all sorts of things. Dreamland says, Steve, did you reach your goal? Did Dawn win the challenge? Yes, and after that, I did put a plea out on, is it StreamYard or StreamYard Shorts, or was it on my community post? I think it was a short. I can't remember, but I said, please go and give Steve get to his 6K. Living my best life at 60 says good morning. Living my life's just had a premiere. Steve's done a link for Living My Best Life. Happy Monday, says Dreamland. Alyssa pops up all over the place. Steve, do your link to your channel. You always forget. Do a link to there. Okay, so we've talked about that. I'm going to show you a video in a minute, one of the videos from that channel, to show you how you don't need to buy any equipment to have everything you could buy for free to use for equipment. But I did bring you a couple of things up from the studio to show you. And it was funny because I just popped on to Living My Best Life at 60's channel, and she was showing exercise bands. And I was like, I'm just showing those today. Now, she tells you on there, when you order them, you can buy them separately, but sometimes when you order them, you get a pack of 3, and they're 3 different strengths. Now, some of you might think they're for beginners upwards, but they're actually for different parts of your body. So different ones you'd use for different purposes. So they're just nice, stretchies. And these are actually called resistance bands. So you have to do things like, I've got a whole video on different exercises you can do with them. In fact, I think I've got more than one, because I've got a whole video on my other channel of arm exercises using them. And I've done one, ballet dancers use them all the time just for warm up of the feet. So I think I've got a video on other exercises using them, but I've got loads more content to come. So these are pretty good, but be careful, ladies. If you do any stretching this way, you're actually increasing your chest size. A lot of people don't know that. They're doing this all the time. And as you get older, most females get bigger chest. Don't do anything this way. Don't do that. And unless you're accomplished in exercise, you shouldn't do anything behind your body. But I'm actually I'm halfway through making it. I've been making a video. People have asked me, are all moves safe, and I'm going to do a whole video on not exercises that are bad for you. It does include that, but even just positions that you might sit or stand in. So I'm doing a whole video on that. So that's coming up. So that's the stretch bands. The only thing I don't like about them is you smell of rubber after you've been using them. So yeah, I've got videos on those. Something else I really do like to use, but as I say, you don't need to buy anything. Instead of weights, these are weights. Instead of weights, well, that's a good excuse, Alyssa, isn't it? Because she doesn't like to exercise. She said, well, I won't be doing the chest increasing exercise. Instead of weights, you must know you can use tins, or you can use bottles filled with water or sand. But I like these ones. I've had them years and years because they do up round your wrist. And they also do up round your ankles. So for weights, you don't want handheld weights, because that's doing different things to your tendons when you're pushing a weight or lifting dumbbells. So you don't really want handheld weights if you're going to get weights. As I say, a lot of people say you can use tin cans or bottles, but you should really be looping things round your wrist, not holding to push weights, because you're doing different things. So as I said, hoops, you can have fun with hoops and do things with hoops. I'm going to go back because I'm glad we haven't got Ashley on today. Oh, and anyone who saw, I think, my last live on this channel, Ashley asked me to do a particular short. For those of you who are watching, I've done it. See if you can find it on my shorts. Okay, let's just go back a bit. Where did we get to? Little World says singing. Yes, singing and dancing. She does karaoke on her channel, so do go and look at that if you're into that. And of course, dancing around. This is why I've made this 70s disco type exercise fun thing video, because it's all about having fun. Dreamland says Echo was just thinking of you. Echo's in the house singing with dance. Yes, Shirley. Steve says stuck. Oh, still stuck under 6K. Tony's thrashing me. Oh dear. And I don't do any of those things most of you guys are doing to try and get it's viewing hours, isn't it? That's for. I just poodle along. I just poodle along. But it's you guys that have got me there, so thank you very much. Stitch It Up says, I do some dance exercises sometimes. Do you know the best form of dance is actually Latin? I've got Latin videos there. I start the videos from absolute beginner, so if you want to have a go, do go over there. Steve, you'll get there. Yes, don't try and you will get there. Saying hello to everyone. Steve's put his link up. Well done, Steve. Do it every time you're on, Steve. And same with Alyssa, you're a mod, so always put your ones up as well. I do forget to remind you guys, but you should know to do that now. Live my best life said, I didn't know that. I don't know what you didn't know. I didn't watch yours. I just came on and said hello at the beginning and that I was doing a video because I had to come and link my video up that I'm going to play in a minute, and that takes me a little while. So didn't see what you were doing today. I just saw you got the bands. So I said, oh, I got the bands. Husbands should buy some bands for their wife. Oh, I said lucky Ashley wasn't here, but Steve's just as bad. I've read those. This for the bigger. Carl says, got to go. Customer come in the shop. Have a great time. Thank you for being here, Teddy. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Just poodle along. Yes. Yes, it's Latin that I do. Oh, cool. What Latin dancing do you do? My favourite, because I think it's the easiest one, the one you have to think least about, is cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha is the simplest one. You can do it to all music because it's 4/4 timing. Jive's quite good. Obviously, being a dance teacher, I dance both the male and the female, so I know all the steps from both sides. Jive's more fun as a male. Send the girl around. Yeah. Paso Doble when you're in the mood. Like Paso Doble's good. I only do I do all the other dances like salsa and that, but I only do the proper 5 ballroom, 5 Latin. And when you're accomplished in all of them at a high level, you do 10 dance, which is all the 5 ballroom, all the 5 Latin, and you have to get the highest marks in all of them. Cha-cha-cha, yes, cha-cha-cha is good. Samba's okay, but it's a killer on the knees. Rumba, if you're in the mood for a bit of slinky dancing. That's quite good. Yes, so what else was I going to say about that? Yes, as I say, I'm going to do a video on moves you shouldn't be doing. And it's old school. So you might still see people doing them, or you might have seen even the old days. You remember the old PT, physical training, where they all lined up people and the factory workers and they get them to exercise, or PE at school. There were moves that are now a big no-no, a big red flag, because it's found that they are highly dangerous, highly dangerous. Your body's not meant to move certain ways. And after I had a knee operation, the doctor, the surgeon there was saying, it's amazing how many people think you can kneel down. People can kneel down. Your knees are not made for even kneeling. Did you know that? He said, like, people always kneel down. You should never kneel on your knees. And there's other simple things like that. So I will be talking about all that in the video that I make, and that will be on my other channel, Everything Dance Your Mentor. It will be on that channel. If any of you haven't got the link and you want it at any point, do ask me. But as I say, there's far more goes on that channel than purely dancing. And also I do lives on that channel, and the lives are random. They're random lives. They're not a set time. I do 2 types of live. I do Q&A, so people ask me questions. I make a whole live on that one question. And I also do my dancing journey. So what I became, how I became it in the dancing profession and TV and so on and so forth, and on the stage. And it follows my journey, a bit like I'm doing my normal history of me on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. That is, I'm following from my childhood onwards on that channel. And that's just in a playlist, that's not as a live. And then on Everything Dance Your Mentor, follow my journey from my first day of dancing all the way through, and you'll find out more about what I did and how I got there. So there's that. Steve says, I like the Morris dancing. Do you know what? I don't mind a bit of like barn dance, just like everyone having fun. And it's all about that for me. Even though as a professional dancer, I always taught that you must enjoy it. If I had any pupils, like child pupils that came and they really didn't want to do it, but they had pushy parents, I sent them on their way. I sent them on their way. The music is fun. Yes, it is. I like Tarantella. Do you know Tarantella music? I love Tarantella. And I think by mistake, this channel, if you go on my playlist, I think I've got some of my Tarantella music as a playlist. I think I might also have tango music because I do like that. Not the ooh ones, but the sort of tuneful ones. So you might find, and I think there's another playlist that slipped and went into YouTube on my channel. What might that be? It's definitely Tarantella. Oh, Paso Doble, maybe. Maybe there's Paso Doble music there. So if you want to look at that, they're not clicked as private as far as I know. Somehow I made the file and they ended up in my YouTube file. But if you don't know what Tarantella is, it's like Italian, not quite folk music, like national dance music. So if you don't know Tarantella, go into my playlist. I'm sure one's called Tarantella, and play some of them and tell me later if you like those. So yeah, the music is definitely fun on those. So I'm just going to now play you a short video, and it's showing you how you don't need to buy equipment. Well, let's just play that and I'll come back to you after that. This exercise episode is to show you how you don't need to pay for a gym. If you feel you're paying for a gym because it makes you go, then why not just buddy up with a friend who wants to get fit as well and take days each in turn to decide on what exercise you're going to do. And in that way, you're not picking things that you think, oh, that's easy, I'll do that. So take it in turns, day by day, go with a group of friends, and each day one of you plans exercise or activity for the day. And of course, just daily things such as house cleaning, clearing up the garden, maintenance jobs, these are all forms of exercise. But today I'm going to show you how your garden is a natural gym. If you don't have a garden, then go to your local park and you will find plenty of things you can use there. Maybe your workplace has some of these things you can use, or maybe inside your home. Again, if you don't have facilities, pair up with other people that do. So today I'm just going to show you my garden and things you can use or adapt to make your own gym. Of course, being outside is always a much better option than to do workouts indoors if your climate allows it. So the first thing I'm showing you are poles that we have in our garden. These are, we grow grapes over them, and these are things you can use for pull-ups and those kind of activities. So just walk around your garden or your local park and see what they have to offer. Here in Cyprus, we're lucky enough that there are free outdoor gyms in many villages and towns now, which I will put a clip in at the end to show you those. So do check those out. They're coming more and more now, and that's often working out with a view of the sea or in parks. hire a bike for the day. You can do this in most countries, so check that out. So let's see what else I have that is available outside in my garden. Now here I have some outdoor furniture. These are actually stone table and stone benches. You can use these in many ways. Push-ups are a great thing. Whatever furniture you use, make sure it's really sturdy and it's not going to tip when you use it. You could use these for stepping up exercises. You could use it almost as a salt course, walking round and over. Of course, these things depend on your fitness. You could even lay a mat on the table and use this for an outside yoga platform. So be adaptive of things that you have and think of many different ways of using them. Of course, you could use a table as somewhere for leg stretches. Of course, trees. Trees, you can climb the trees, you can do pull-ups on some of the branches. Again, make sure what you're using is very safe and sturdy, and you can do many things, attaching ropes and things to them for different exercises. As I say, do make sure they are definitely secure trees before doing any of these things. Well, of course, swimming pools, that goes without saying. Instead of just swimming, I like to do pool aerobics. Now, I have multiple disabilities, and for me, there's many exercises I can no longer do, or movements, but I can do most of them in the pool. So if you have any issues, then do exercising in water, any form of aqua aerobics, but do check the class is suitable for your needs. So lifting your legs up sideways, you'll find things like this you can do at a much higher height than you can do on the ground, or if you have balance issues. Of course, those with severe disabilities, you may want to also use floating aids or hold on to floats while exercising, and never be out of your standing depth when doing these exercises. Any steps, again, make very good exercises. If you're indoors, of course, you can do stamina work by running up your stairs. Don't run down your stairs, but running up your stairs as fast as you can, walk back down, and then running up again. Maybe you could time yourself, or maybe you could even see how many of those sets you can do. So stairs or steps, a great form of exercise. Sunbeds, Obviously, as long as they're not bumpy ones, lay them out completely flat and do any floor exercises on those, or indeed just put the mats on a suitable surface and continue with that there for your floor exercises. Brisk walking or running up slopes is also good. Of course, I live in a mountain area, so climbing up rock surfaces, not rock climbing, but going up steep rock places is really good too. As I say, brisk walking up and down the slopes is good for your calves. So take large strides when walking up steep slopes for good exercise. Exercises on your way back down. Make your walks fun and interesting. As I say, time your walks or try even weave walking, weaving your way in and out of trees or objects. Now, this is good for things such as you can change to hopping, jumping, skipping, walking backwards is very good for you to practice, especially for stability and balance. So think of many things you can do weaving in and out. And of course, simple walking out in the countryside is very good for you. And things that I always say, such as if you go to work or you're going out and you need to go on, say, a bus or a train, get off at least one stop before and then walk the rest of the way and do the same coming home. Walking with your groceries, if you can shop locally, is very good because you're carrying weights. And of course, we do things like carrying canned food for weights. Many different things you can use, but carrying your shopping home every day is probably one of the best forms of holding weights. Around your home, such as a bit of old washing line, you can use as a skipping rope, and I have so many more tips and ideas for you that I will share with you in future videos. Do check out my playlist to find more of what you're looking for. Until next time, we can do it together, but get started right now. And of course, something like gardening is also a help in more ways than one to a healthy lifestyle. Physically doing the gardening and eating your own fresh produce. So I hope that gave you some ideas and, more importantly, some inspiration. Now, what I have done before, for people who say, I would exercise, but I don't have time, which is another way people don't exercise, is I show you how you can find time. I'm a great lover of showing you where extra time is hidden. That's another episode. But I also do 2 things or more at once. And those of you who have been on my channel for a while would have seen I often used to do lives riding my exercise bike. So tell me in the comments if you were someone who's seen that. So I would be doing exercising while I'm doing a live. So you can do more than 2 things at once. So that's another way. And if you're wondering about how you can find time, that is on my video, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. I have hidden time. You think we all have 24 hours in a day, but no, there is extra time. So if you want the link to that, I'll try and find it for you, and let me know if you want to know more about that. Something else I really love is plans. I love to make plans and planning charts, all that kind of thing. Okay, let's have a look at your comments. We had quite a fun chat there. Let me see. Let me go back a little bit. Let's go back. Let me see. Let me see. Where were we? Oh, Peter saying, great idea working out in the garden. Yes, I think if you can work out outside, that's what I was saying. That's why a lot of yoga people do it outdoors. You just get that inspiration, or as I showed you in that video, all this Keep Fit stuff all around Cyprus. They're normally near the beaches or something facing for a nice view. I find it's very good if I'm doing basic exercise, like proper Keep Fit exercise, to listen to a podcast or music I really like, or I listen to, sometimes, not very often, an audio book because I have to concentrate more on that. But you could listen to an audio book or learn a language while you're keeping fit. That's pretty good. Steve says in Canada, he's saying it's pretty warm there for spring, lots of blossom on the trees. I was saying to Peter, yes, I'm trying to keep fitness fun, because the day you get bored with it is the day you're not going to do it anymore. Peter says, yes, indeed, exercise is a must for a great life. Steve says, really nice place to exercise. Great view, said Peter. Peter said, looks a peaceful place. Yes, that was all shot in my garden, apart from the Keep Fit equipment, which is a beach nearby. Steve says, look heavy. Oh, the stone table looks heavy. Don't hurt your back lifting them. Actually attached to the ground. Oh, nice, says Dreamland. Stitch Up says, I want to try yoga again. I've got a whole playlist on that dance channel of yoga, and I've kept it very basic for people who want to take it up again or haven't done it before. And I'm going to very difficult ones coming up soon. It's yoga challenges. So can you do there's a pairs one, pairs yoga, and they are like ultimate level, but mostly they are simple. I try to keep things easy because I'm more encouraging people to dance or to keep fit. So I don't do too many high-end ones, although you can find them. Peter says, if I tried that kind of stretch, I would be crippled. That must have been the one where my leg was on the table. I was laughing at Steve talking about the stone table. Oh, and then the swimming pool. I was saying about you can do things in a pool that you can't necessarily do out the pool. But I put backflips. No, I've never done a backflip in a pool. I don't even dive. I don't even jump in a swimming pool. Steve says, can't touch my toes. Peter said, they say swimming is the best exercise. It's the best all-round exercise in one go, yes. Steve says, me too, laugh out loud. Steve said, never knew steps could be fun. Peter said, I suppose exercising is all about motivation. yes, we talked about that at the beginning. For me to be motivated, it's got to be different and interesting. My way I exercise when I can is to go for my walks. It's probably not the best exercise of using my arms and everything else, and I don't want to start carrying weights walking. I want to enjoy the walk. But as I'm getting older, I think it's good for breathing, to keep your airways going and breathing and moving. I think with my lupus, moving is very important, to keep moving. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I try and go for a walk if I'm well enough on a Tuesday. And I did a really new, lovely walk last Tuesday. Had to go with my tracker because, as you know, it's mountain area. There's just like little paths made that the goats have made and things like that. So I have to go with my tracker so I don't get lost. And I might do that one again tomorrow and see if I can do it without the tracker. I'll take it with me. It's geocaching is what I use. I use a tracker. It's the only app or mapping or whatever you want to call it that shows these little tracks. And the reason is because they are not real tracks. They are, as I say, little where the goats, they always walk the same sort of routes. And because it's done kind of from satellite, but it's better than Google Map. They're not on Google Map. It's so intensely done that it shows all these little tracks. So sometimes when you get there, you can barely kind of walk the tracks because they're grassy or whatever. I put just tired watching. Steve says I'm feeling the burn. I'm feeling the burn. That's funny. I said to Peter, Variety Peter is great for exercise. Peter says, if it was me, I would have ceased up by now. And I put in the heat too. Let's talk about going, I think it was the weaving through the trees. You don't just have to walk. Try walking backwards. Be careful if you're older and not very good with balance. That's quite hard sometimes. But you can do like a salt course. You could set something up, weave, and I was talking about you can do hopping, see how far you can get hopping. And I put, I can't hop anymore. I can't hop. Oh, so you won't see that. Peter said, Dawn, can you speed it up like Benny Hill run? Yeah, that would be cool. I thought that's fun, Peter. Stitch Out's listening. Peter says, I suppose exercising is half the battle. Diet also plays its role. That's why I kind of exercise, because I think it was Alyssa on her channel. I think it was Alyssa, I might be wrong, saying about, no, it was... oh, yes, I think it was someone doing their shopping. They said, I've got some good stuff and some non-healthy stuff. And I put, well, you've got to have that. You've got to have what you want. I don't believe in diet and just living off of, say, salad and exercising like crazy. You want a life. You want a life as well. So have your days when you have your bag of crisp or chips, whatever you want to call them. Have your cake, have your cream, as long as you balance it out. So that's what Peter's saying, really. It's balancing it out. So if you're going to have like a great big cake, cream cake, chocolate eclair, if you're going to have that, then maybe exercise a bit more the next day. But I don't think you should suppress yourself from having things you like. There's no fun in that. Steve says, Rover gets me out and about for his walks. Yes, it's great to get a dog. It's definitely great to get a dog for walking. Definitely. I was doing this walk last Tuesday and I started walking down the drive, and I was going to do a few shorts as I was doing my walk because I was going to go past the cave. So on my short says the cave, and I went in there on my short. But as I was walking down the driveway, Kit came out. And he started walking down the driveway with me. So I did a quick short on that to say, so I'm like, oh dear, the cat's coming on the walk. And I don't want them to come with me. Dreamland says, awesome garden and fruit trees. Thank you. Steve says, yes, and lovely sun and blue sky. Peter said, stay safe. Maybe Peter thought I'd finished because that video had finished. Maybe. So he's off. But then... it is a different time in Australia, so he may have just gone. maybe he hung on longer than normal because he was watching. So thank you, Peter. Guys, do go and look at Peter Dell's channel. If you think my garden's lovely, you should see some of the videos Peter puts out of lovely places in Australia. Stephen Tina said goodbye to Peter. Stitch Up says that's cool. Stitch Up says you're an organizer. I'm not. I wish my like as you get older, sometimes you forget you can't do what you think you can do. It's like if I go out and do some gardening, I have motivation in my head, but my body can't keep up. So sometimes I'll lay in bed in the morning and think, right, I'm going to do this, this and this. And I get up, start sort of 10 minutes of the first thing, and my body's had enough. So that is kind of a sad downfall of me right now. I have motivation, but my body doesn't want to join in. My body doesn't want to join in. I am 60 now. I keep thinking to myself, you are 60 now. And when we were younger, we all used to think 60 was like, I know some of you are grandmas, so I'm not being rude, but to me it was like an old granny, you know, not like you guys. I know this is a grandma, but like a really old person like that. Oh dear. So yeah, my body doesn't want to keep up. And as you say, I like to plan. I did have motivation, I still do, but then I'm like, meh. But as I say, it's more my body doesn't want to play along, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Oh dear. So yeah, as I say, Roundup really is basically if you need to keep fit. I've done chair yoga, I've got a whole series of that. I'm so pleased so many of you are using that as an inspiration, chair yoga and keeping fit and motivate yourself and all the rest of it. That's more the motivation side of things is on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And there's a whole playlist on there. I've talked about it before, and it's called Who Are You? Or Why You're You. I think it's Who Are You is the playlist. And it's fun finding out why you're like you are. And there's all different videos on there, all different ones. There's also lives on that channel called Inspirational Thursday Thoughts. If you're into being motivated and all that, go and look at those. And it's kind of a bit like what I've talked about today, like giving you ideas and just like clear out your stuff and all sorts of things. But Who Are You? It's fun. It's a very fun, loose psychology. So it's talking about why you look like you look. How your genes have made you look like that, how we're different from each other, why we're different. You've got siblings. If you were brought up with siblings and you are different, you're not exactly the same in any respect. Even identical twins are actually extremely different. So all those kind of things. So that's the Who Are You playlist on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and the Thursday Inspirational Thoughts lives on that channel. You'll see they've all got the same thumbnail. I can't remember what it is. It's a sunset or something like that. But you'll see, once you see one on there, you'll know which ones they are. I should go back to doing those because people like those. But yeah, it's very interesting because I did psychology and I'm very interested in people. That's why I love you guys and chatting with you and finding out more about you. And there's like fun little tests on there as well. Very fun little kind of test. You answer questions. Would you do this or this? A bit like my Q&As, isn't it? Would you rather do this or this? All that kind of thing. So yeah, bottom line is basically don't sit around. Even if you're in a wheelchair or you're bedridden, you can still move. You can still do something. And I do get inspired by those like myself who have multiple issues, disabilities. And as I say, there are days I can climb up the mountain, well, not literally, but go for big hikes up the mountain. And then other days I can be totally immobile. And before anyone says you should rest more or all that sort of stuff, it has been proven that the more I rest or sit around, the worse I can have attacks. It's the brain just fizzles out. You know, like if you're lighting a gas on a cooker and you light a gas ring, and if your gas is running out, if you're not piped in, if you use the big gas canister things, and your gas is running out, it kind of poofs a bit, doesn't it? It goes poop, 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 and then it's gone. There's no gas. The gas has run out. That's me. That's me. So it doesn't matter what I eat, what I do. If I rest, resting has been proven is bad for me. So when I was in a wheelchair for a few years, I was worse and worse and worse. And that's why I like to motivate and try and get people moving, because once you stop doing anything, that is when you're just going to go downhill. So whatever your disabilities are or your inabilities, do try and get moving. And I was today going to try and do the exercise bike for the live, and I wasn't up for that at all. But let's see if I can maybe next Monday, see, by saying it's not going to happen, but maybe next Monday, if I do the exercise bike for this Monday live. And if you guys have got an exercise bike, why don't you grab it and do it at the same time? So while you're watching all these lives, maybe you should exercise at the same time. That would be pretty cool. So I'm going to finish there for today. I hope you found something from this, some form of inspiration, or even one simple idea, such as, oh, I've always thought exercise meant you had to physically do a workout. So maybe you might just go for a walk, or let me know what you're going to do. If you're going to do anything, let me know. So I'm going to finish there. Thank you all so much for being here. There's quite a lot of you in the chat today, and I so appreciate that. Thank you for being here, and I will be back on Wednesday. Until then, as always, Meraki.